time, you know?
They did have a lot of time on their hands. They're coming here in September. Black Keys will come back home to do that show at the Romo Fijo on... No, sorry, they're doing Blossom.
They're at Blossom.
Yep. Yeah. On September the 9th with a Band of Horses. I know we were giving away some tickets for that. We probably will do some more closer to the date. But they're doing a pretty extensive tour. July through October. So new Black Keys going to drop soon, and new song's pretty good. Hey, Juanita in St. Louis, what's going on?
Hey, everybody.
Hey, how are you?
Love the show. I'm
Thank
good.
you.
How are you guys doing?
Thank you, Juanita.
Hanging in.
Great. Well, I've been listening to the show for a couple years now, and I've learned to really, like a lot of you guys. And one of my favorite callers was Rick. And every single time that I've listened to the show since, us finding out, I guess, kind of together that he had passed, I've really thought about him every single show, no matter what. And I wanted to connect with you, Alan, because I can kind of tell that you were really upset by it. I mean, obviously, but I've really thought about him, and to think and remember him, just the impact that he had, just a random caller into a show all across America. Everybody knows who he was. You know what I mean? And, he just seemed like a really nice guy.
No, I mean, I went to a funeral of a guy that I thought might be Rick, so I was all in on trying to figure out what happened before I just happened to get an email from somebody who said he worked with Rick's brother. I mean, I think that we had put some pretty solid pieces together before that. We found his phone number, and it had been disconnected, and it was listed to somebody who had passed away, and so... but that last piece... Yeah, listen, I've done radio for a long, long time, and I've worked in a lot of cities. And every city I've had regular callers to my show, and in every city I've worked in, a couple of them have died. And it always sucks. So, some people, it was along the way. I've had listeners die from substance abuse. I've been fortunate enough on a number of occasions to have been contacted by their family. Rick was in a situation where we didn't know anybody that he knew. We only knew him. I mean, Bill has met Dick from Dayton, but we never met Rick, and it was fine that we didn't. But the downside of that is that we really had to do some detective work to figure out what happened. I had to buy a huge magnifying glass. I had to get one of those hats with the ear laps on it. I had to buy a bloodhound. When I go in. And so it was, but it really sucks. I mean, Rick was he was fun. He was always down for whatever. And he was great. He was a lot of fun. So it sucks.
Hey,
but you are one of many, many people I've heard from, Juanita, that are just like, oh my God, I can't believe how hard I'm taking, Rick being gone. Just, fellow listeners. I mean, they were you guys were his peers, so... it sucks. But,
we heard him every day. If you listen to the show, because, he was a frequent caller. And so I don't know how that couldn't impact somebody. But just real quick, I work with the public, and honestly, to deal with public people, and, you can tell that Rick, if I were to ever meet him, he would be a friendly person. And that's why I think he resonated with so many people, is because that friendliness, came over through the radio, and that's not easy to do.
Yeah.
So just R.I.P. Rick. Yeah.
He was living life and having fun. How's it going in St. Louis, Juanita?
Oh, it's great. I mean, we're supposed to have snow tomorrow, so, everybody's losing their mind, right? But
right.
I know how to deal with the snow. But, when in the Midwest, whenever it snows and we know about it too far in advance, people start to really lose it. But,
sure.
St. Louis is good.
All right, good. Thank you, Juanita.
Bye.
All right.
Okay.
And I thought it was funny.
Yeah, either way. Okay, well, I need to listen more carefully there.
That's okay. That's all right.
All right.
What happened?
I don't know.
Did he hang up?
I hope he's okay.
Is he all right?
He's still there?
It's Rick?
Rick?
Is there sticking and moving going on? What happened? Is he all right?
Rick, you didn't hang up.
Rick, are you all right? He'll hear me asking if he's all right on the radio in a second here. 30 seconds.
Are you there?
Hello?
Oh, jeez.
Rick, we thought you died. You didn't hang up the phone.
No, I was finished. I thought you were finished talking to me also.
You didn't say goodbye.
We wanted to make sure you were all right. That's all.
Oh, no, I have a stick and move, but I'm going to late.
All right.
All right, thank you. Goodbye, Rick.
All right, Rick.
All right, there was Rick. That was the end. That was a call we took from him end of September, where we were very freaked out for a second. Of course, it turned out to be accidentally prescient, but we thought something awful had happened to him then. Still don't know what happened to him, by the way. Just know that he passed away. But to Juanita's point, it is great that he was able to kind of have that impact for people who just heard him, never met him. You know, they could conjure this image of what he probably looked like. I think when we saw his obituary, he looked like, I think, what we thought he'd look like, at least for me. Yeah. So we don't know that he actually, or how he actually died.
He will be missed. I really enjoyed Rick, and he always wanted to talk about sports, and then like he was so joyful, just a very happy guy.
Alan,
But I loved when he got kind of fired up that one time when the guy was like, why are you lying on me?
Yes.
Said, yeah, that was the best.
A little spark would come out. Mm-hmm. The old boxer in him would come out. Devastation. Mm-hmm. Alan, I'm more sad about Rick than my grandparents. Wow. I mean, that's...
Well, I was really young when my grandmother died, and then when my dad's grandmother died. When my dad's mom died, I didn't cry because I didn't know that lady.
Understood.
She kind of disowned you. She's kind of the reason he wasn't around, right? Because she was the racist one?
There are blurred lines there because we really don't know. My mom says it was like my grandparent or my grandfather, and she was secretly talking to... I don't know exactly. So, but yeah, I mean, neither one... we didn't see them until it was too late, essentially, because she had Alzheimer's by the time we saw her on a regular basis. She's just some old white lady.
Another texter says, imagine how hard it is for Alan to come across as nice on the radio. See, people think that I'm just kind of doing this off the cuff. It takes a lot of work for me to sound personable, engaging. Hello.
Hello, Bill.
Hey, who's this?
Bill, this is Wilhelmina.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
You remember me?
I do remember you. Actually, we just played a call from the first time you ever called the other day, and it was very interesting. It's not how I remember it going.
I don't remember that either. The very first time I called, I've been called for so long now,
It's
Bill.
been a long time.
I barely remember the first time I called. What did we talk about? That must have been 2013.
Yeah, it was about then, and
almost 10 years I've been calling you, Bill.
It's been quite some time, and
nothing to show for it.
Not a thing.
That's okay, though.
That's all right. No, I appreciate your calls, and we've been talking about a caller that recently passed away, and a lot of people are broken up over it. And if you ever pass away while we're still doing this show, I can't think of anything that would make me more upset.
I know, Bill. I thought about that, too. Would you be more upset if I died than if Rick died, Bill?
I would be much more upset.
But Rick did die, right?
Rick did die.
Oh, I never met him either. A couple of us had talked about maybe having an Alan Cox Show caller get together.
Oh. Who else did you...
It never happened.
No, that's a bummer. Who else did you contact for that?
It was going to be Rick and me and Drunk Jenny. Who was the other one?
Drunk Sue?
Drunk Sue. And I think that might have been it.
Oh,
it never happened, though. It's okay.
Yeah, well, now really can't.
There's only a couple of us left,
Yeah.
I just want to check and see if you were doing okay. I was listening when it was International Women's Day a couple days ago.
Yeah, just a couple days ago, yeah.
It feels like It feels like a couple weeks ago, Bill. It's a couple of days ago.
It feels like a couple of days ago to me, but everybody processes time in their own
I
way.
tuned in. I was gonna call, but you had some skank in there, and I didn't know who it was.
Why do you think she's a skank? Her name is Gab, and she's a very sweet young lady.
She's wonderful.
Doesn't mean she's not a skank.
What about her on this show made you think even for a moment that she's a skank? Wait, where'd it go?
Did she die?
I think she might have died.
Hello?
She just gets on the phone, calls Gab a skank, and then dies?
It looks like it's still connected.
It's still connected. Yeah, she didn't hang up. I can tell that. I can see the screen, but I don't know what to do. Should we call an ambulance? We don't know where she lives. Are you still there?
Bill!
What happened?
I thought I hung up, Bill. I wanted to see if you'd really be as upset.
I was very concerned.
I hate to play that kind of trick on you, Bill.
That was a little cruel, but I'll allow it.
All right. Did it make you feel anything, Bill? Did it make
I felt terror.
Did it make you feel like maybe your boxers were getting tighter?
No, didn't make me feel. You dying did not make me horny.
No, worried, Bill. When I get worried, I get horny.
I don't have that
That's
same.
why I couldn't attend my grandmother's funeral. When I get nervous, or worried, or sad, it makes me horny, Bill. A little factoid about me that you might appreciate.
That's a very interesting factoid. I think that's a very honest thing to share.
All right. Well, anyway, I just wanted to make sure that you were doing okay. I know there's been kind of a dark cloud
Yeah.
over the show, so... All right, I didn't die.
All right, I'm glad you didn't die.
No.
And did you want me to say anything to Gab? Because I feel like you...
Tell her I'm sorry for calling her a skank.
I will. Okay.
But she won't know who I am anyway. So on second thought, keep me anonymous and say an anonymous caller called you a skank. It's okay. I'm just...
All right.
I'm just kidding. I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
That was scary. Thought we lost another one.
I know, right? That would have been a crazy week.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy week.
We just losing everybody.
Harsh words for Gab, though. I can't think of anybody less of a skank.
Alan, I haven't been this sad about something show-related since Drunk Mike passed. Well, listen, I'll tell you the last time I was this sad is when I found out that I wasn't going to get a table on the floor at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
Well, that's upsetting.
That I was going to be seated with the plebes.
Especially
that was the last time that I was this distraught, Bill.
Considering they had more tables this year.
Just
make
for
that
us.
make
That was
sense.
the last time that I was probably this distraught.
You know, they probably had less because there was tables and then there was a bunch of floor seats. But, yeah, well.
Right.
I'm sure you'll get over it in time. We feel for you.
Alan, I've always found you to be funny and likable. Other people have told me that they feel otherwise. I think I finally understand why I don't have a lot of friends. Yeah, right. Well, there you go. Fortunately, I'm never concerned with being likable. Funny, yes. That's my bread and butter. But I'm not concerned with being likable. It's gravy if you do like me.
There's news about the Bears.
Oh! The Chicago Bears or
Yeah.
Grizzly Bears?
The Chicago Bears.
Exclusive news update.
Yeah.
According to Adam Schefter, Bears are attempting to finalize a trade that will send six-time Pro Bowl defensive end Khalil Mack to the Los Angeles Chargers.
Why? Were they just going to get draft picks?
Probably.
Come on. Wasn't he here? Was Khalil Mack here or am I thinking of somebody else?
No, he was with the Raiders.
Yeah.
And then the Bears traded a bunch of stuff to get him.
Yeah.
And then didn't really get to do much with him.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. The Chargers. Well, there's a deep, dark hole that you... Yeah.
Yeah, the Chargers are good.
So a hole you won't
Chargers
return
could
from.
be good. Chargers
They
are
could
on,
be,
they're on
and
the cusp.
everybody wants to go to L.A.
They're
so,
on the cusp, you know.
Yeah. You can while out there in Los Angeles. All right, well, there you go. Whatever. Gwen sends me this picture this morning, and it says, "Do you know who this person is?" And I go, "Oh, I do know who it is." It was that picture of Phil Collins sitting there at that show in Germany. So Genesis is on this farewell tour. They came to Cleveland in December. I think it was still 2021. It was end of 2021, Genesis doing one last go-round, except that Phil Collins just sits center stage and sings, and he has like a cane. The guy looks like he's 90 years old because he's not 100.
Like he's
in bad
rough.
shape because he's had like multiple surgeries on his back that basically did so much nerve damage that he can't play drums anymore. So I think his son plays drums now with Genesis. He's like, I can't hold drumsticks anymore. So he sits there kind of like, tapping a tambourine or whatever. But he looks like you're right. He looks like he's 100 years old.
He looks real rough.
After one of his back operations, he got drop foot, which is something that like some people with diabetes will get. But it damages the nerve that's running down your leg, so you can't control that foot. It's just kind of, and you can't play the drums if you don't have full use of both your feet. And so because of that drop foot, he fell over a couple of times. He was in the hospital. Phil Collins looks awful. But this is the final go-around, so every city they're in, they're like, huh?
How does he sound?
He probably sounds great. I don't think it's affected the voice, but this picture that's gone around from the show in Berlin on Monday night, he just looks terrible. And I didn't make it to that show when it was in Cleveland. But obviously, this is their last go-round. They, a long time ago, said they weren't going to do it again because the three of them did not get along for a long time. And I think they pretty much copped to the fact that it was like, tickets are going to be expensive. This is a cash grab. I mean, Phil Collins is still a very wealthy man, but he's been divorced 3 or 4 times too, and every single time his wife would just take him for everything he was worth. I think he remarried one of his exes.
That's always a wild thing to me.
Yeah, it is wild.
Marry, but like, it's one thing to get back together, but then to get married again.
Yeah.
Like, let's try it again. Let's put it back on the... Nope,
Yeah.
Not doing it.
Well, because you get lulled... What I imagine is you get lulled into that false sense of security when you have a platonic relationship or a non-married relationship. And some people fall into that trap of, hey, this is pretty good. Let's try it again. And for some people, it works.
Yeah.
A lot of people, it doesn't. They go, forget marriage. It's like if you get back together with an ex. You go, oh, right. Yeah. That's why we broke up.
I'm very much still in the camp of never getting married again. I know
I don't blame you.
That could always change.
I always said I wouldn't, and I did, but I'm telling you what, if anything happened with me and Gwen, I would absolutely not get married. What?
Shut up. You would.
I would not. Dude, I'm 50 years old. I have 2 grown children. Like, there's no upside for me to get married again. No way. No way. And nobody would want to marry me. Like, what?
Oh, you would be able to find somebody that would marry you for your money.
You're rich.
For my money. Oh, like I'd have any after another divorce.
That's a good point.
Of course.
Yeah.
He got 3 kids. They all gonna need assistance.
Right.
And 2 ex-wives.
2 in college.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You still paying alimony on your ex-wife or no?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Well, that's been done.
I stopped that a long time ago.
That's been done.
Because she remarried, right?
No, because her lawyer screwed up the agreement.
Oh.
And I said, I ended up paying years of money that I didn't owe. So I go, I'm not going to pay you alimony anymore. So we had the whole thing revised, but then she did get remarried, yes. And they are not together anymore.
So alimony is separate from your divorce settlement, right? Or is
That's all part of it.
Okay.
Alimony, when it comes tax time, you can write off alimony. You cannot write off child support.
Gotcha.
So I did get when I was paying alimony, that was nicer because I could write it off. But I just paid. But again, this summer when my daughter, I have end of June will be end of child support. But I still help
wanna
my
still
kids
get
That's a
out.
hell of a
so it's
birthday. 51 and no more child support.
Yeah, my daughter turns 18 a week after our birthdays are a week apart.
I just find that funny that I understand a settlement, like when you get divorced, like you split everything, like whatever. But the fact that people, it's like a whole scam where you're still paying someone for a marriage, like you're paying alimony longer than you guys were married. That is bananas to me. Like that people do that. Like,
Yeah, it's
I've
silly.
been paying alimony for 25 years.
Well, but it also depends on what state you're divorced in, too. Like, we got divorced in Pennsylvania, which is because of the Commonwealth. They have all these weird, old-timey laws, like, so you're in really bad shape if you get divorced. You know, some
but
states...
it still counts if you move out of state? Like, because you move all around, so...
Yeah, I still owed the money.
But what if you wanted to refile in a different state? Then what?
Got nothing to do with it. You still got divorced
You
in the state you got.
refile a divorce.
Yeah,
But I'm saying
divorce is where it's at.
Your state of residence has nothing to do with what your divorce agreement is.
Well, I was just saying...
You would both have to go back to court to redo anything.
But I'm saying if you had to go back to court and you lived in a different state, how could they come after you? If you got divorced in Pennsylvania...
Because there aren't walls between states. What do you mean, how could they come after me?
How can they make you pay?
They'd say, you owe this money. It doesn't matter where you move.
Okay. I didn't know how the laws work. I didn't know.
That's how they work. If you owe the money, you owe the money.
Because I'm thinking...
I mean, that's why, like, deadbeat dads, they don't just go, oh, they moved out of state, can't get them.
Well, I was thinking...
They're hauling guys out all the time who, like, skip town and go to California and...
I was thinking in terms of, like, when gay people wanted to get married, and it was like a state thing. If they got married in California and then as a couple they moved back to Ohio, they wouldn't be considered married. I didn't know if it was the same thing like with alimony, like
No.
if you get divorced in California,
No, because
and you move to Ohio.
Because you're talking about a difference between first of all, heterosexual marriage is legal everywhere.
Understandable.
So the laws apply no matter what state you're in.
Well,
If you're talking about a scenario where there were states that didn't recognize gay marriage, that's a whole different variable there.
I thought it was federally legal everywhere now, though. Like
It is,
gay
yeah,
marriage.
but I assumed he was talking about back when
back
it
when
wasn't.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
Because that would be a great loophole. Like, I got like people who were gay married in California before it was like legal everywhere. They're like, I'm moving to Ohio. I don't owe you crap. And then Obama was like, you know what? I want y'all to get married. And he's like, no, I owe all this money.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing. He's like, I want gay people to be just as miserable as everyone else. And of course, immediately gay people started getting divorced because they're like, oh yeah, this sucks. And they're like, yeah, okay.
Could you imagine?
They made a
that,
big
though?
deal out of like the first, like whoever the first couple was to get married after it became fully legal.
was on the steps.
They made a huge deal about them getting divorced
Of course.
because they were the first couple to, I don't know how long they lasted, but I remember that was a real big deal.
And of course, it was lesbians.
Yeah,
Most
it
of
was
the time,
lesbians.
It does not last.
They moved in too quickly. Hey, I'll have those Tool tickets for you. They are playing the Romo Fijo in a couple of weeks, March 20th, a week from Sunday. So if you want to go to that show, it is the very last stop on the North American tour. They head off to Europe after Cleveland.